What is up, everybody? My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed, all about pressure washing and quote IQ. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about all the ways your business is leaving money on the table. Not to mention, we're going to be doing some Q&A. So if you guys have any good questions, leave them down below. I'm joined with the man himself. Mike, how's it going, man?
It's good. How are you, Justin?
Mike, is this a character that you're playing or what?
Yeah, I just think it's cool sometimes when guys wear sunglasses inside.
When it's super bright. We're gonna let a
At
couple people
night.
jump on, and then we're gonna have to show your shirt off, Mike, to everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, Mike's having a
So
little
it's
fun.
Friday. I hope everybody had a great week, a profitable week, an exciting week, a safe week, and that's about it.
Okay, beautiful. We're gonna be talking about a bunch of different things, like we said, how your business is leaving money on the table. Mike, why don't you give a little update though? How's business going right now?
For me,
Yeah.
business is good. People are constantly talking about, slow down and this and that and the other. And so, it is what it is. This time of year traditionally slows down, but it's also picking up now. So that's good. But no, we've stayed consistently, our schedule is consistently full. And, we've got a lot of route work that we do. Which is always there. That doesn't decline. So that's just, a nice little thing that we have going for us. And I encourage everybody to think about those recurring, commercial type gigs because, Matthew stays busy two nights a week, full like 8-hour shifts. And then he does on the weekends, Sunday mornings. So that's cool. And then of course Mac and Chris, they stay busy with just the residential stuff.
That's
So
another thing we didn't talk about. You had a couple new hires that came on. So maybe we could say that for another video. I don't want to talk about
yeah.
that in this one because we got some other good stuff. Let's give a couple shout outs to the people in the chat. Peaches is here. What's up, y'all? Jack Grimaldi. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Howdy, Mike and Justin. What's going on? Highland Services. We're live. We're live a little bit earlier than what we typically are. But Mike, since we have a couple of people here, you want to show them your shirt?
Yeah, this is my Vadan and Rogers 24 Make America Clean Again. We're actually in the race. You guys can write us in if that's something that you're into.
Okay, Mike. So Mike texted me one day and said that somebody had sent him a gift in the mail. And like, I just thought it was going to be terrible. But then I saw this shirt and I was like, this is the greatest thing I think that was ever created. So incredible. I thought it was too small. Mike, are you squeezing in? You just trying to look super swole today or what?
I'm trying to look, trying to like, flex on, see what's going on over there. Yeah, it's, this is a medium.
Dude, that's awesome. That's super cool. Dude, I don't know why the numbers on this live are really low. I wonder if we need to swap the title over to Q&A or something.
You should have, like I always do.
The gun show. Jack says the gun show.
That's right.
Absolutely. So, anyway, I think I might mess with the title a little bit and see.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we're gonna do what, Mike?
Justin always tries to get tricky and sneaky and creative with these titles, and I just say, "Hey, man, just call it the pressure washing Q&A, and we'll answer some questions." Right?
So I don't. How did these live streams even get started, Mike? I think one day we just decided that we were gonna just start doing lives every single week, right?
Yeah, it just consistency is something that a lot of people struggle with, and so because of that. Because of that, people's businesses struggle, right? But consistency in every aspect of your life, right? I think, doing push-ups before the live, I did work out this morning, but if you only work out once a week or once a month or only exercise once a month, then guess what? You're not going to see the results. It's just like if you only post on your GMB or you make, one attempted effort to go and knock on doors, your business isn't going to see the results. And it's just like everything else that, in your life is consistency is the key. And so we decided like, hey, we are going to commit to going live every Friday and we are just going to try to provide value, answer questions and, just do what we do. And so
Have a lot of fun.
yeah,
Mike,
these are really fun.
Do you usually do push-ups before the live stream? Pieces,
I've
pieces.
never do push-ups before.
Why'd you
I
say you
actually
do push-ups before the live streams?
I don't do push-ups at all. Um, I stopped doing push-ups in college because they used to make us do push-ups, and it sucked. I went to a military college, and back then they could actually like haze you and not go to jail. And they one of the things that they do is like they'd ask questions like you were supposed to have the knowledge of it was called knob knowledge. They call us knobs. And so I was a freshman, and I didn't do all the things that I needed to do all the time, like shine your shoes and have your shirts pressed military school. And so they'd be like, Vadan, drop and give me 20. And so you'd have to drop and do 20 push and like legit push-ups, right? Not like ass sagging, like good push-ups. And so I got really good at push-ups, and then I committed myself. I was never going to let anybody to tell me to shave again, get a haircut again, or do push-ups again, and or drink mayonnaise or hot sauce.
Or shower ever again.
No, I like the shower as a thing.
I'm just kidding. Okay. Your business is leaving money on the table is kind of the topic of this video. The first thing I want to touch on is tips. Okay. So tips, a lot of people feel a certain way about tips. It is what it is. Every time that
I
we go
thought
to
you said
Starbucks,
something else, Justin.
the tip.
That
Yeah.
you
You
said
guys
the
are
first thing I want to touch on is something, and you said tips. That's not what I heard.
Mike's typically the one talking about touching on people. But yeah, the first thing I want to talk about with regards to leaving money on the table is the tips aspect. And specifically because Mike got a huge tip, probably about, what was it, last week? It was like $135 somebody tipped on. Mike, tell us about it. What was the size of the job and everything?
Oh, and I don't even remember. Let me see if I can pull it up. Oh, I wish I could remember. It was a decent sized job, right? I want to say it was like a $1,600 job. It was, and this one was kind of funny. And I won't. Justin always gives me a hard time because I talk too much and I tell too many stories.
It's
But
okay. Take your time, big
um,
guy.
yeah. So long story short, big job. And it was like probably like an 8 or 9,000 square foot house. We were doing the house. We were doing the exterior windows. We had to remove all of the screens as well. So that adds on to the ticket price. And I think that was it. And so we went the first day. We weren't able to finish it because it was like the third job of the day and we ran out of light, whatever the case was. So we had to reschedule, but I had like the next couple days were completely booked up. And so this lady was cool enough to like, she was understanding. I was like, I can get in on whatever day it was. And she's like, that's fine. So went back, they finished everything up. And then we, send the invoice. And again, oh man, my lawn guy is texting me that I got to pay him. What was I going to say? I get an email or a notification on my phone that, so-and-so invoice was paid. And then right under it, it said tip for like 139 or whatever it was. I'm sure it was just a percentage of the thing. Hold on.
Okay, sweet. So if you guys didn't know, within Quote IQ, you can accept tips on every single invoice that you send. And if you didn't know, invoicing is free within Quote IQ, along with keeping track of customers, sending estimates, invoices, and collecting payments, not to mention the review multiplier. So we pride ourselves on, building a lot of things in the Quote IQ that you guys can get value from for free, at least in the beginning stages of your business, because we know how hard it is to kind of get the ball rolling. So tips is one of those things. The funny thing is Mike gets so many tips from, the tip option within the invoices. He didn't even remember what job it was from or anything. Wouldn't you say so, Mike?
What?
Are you
I
reading the
just read
comments?
Jack's comment and it made me laugh. What was the question? Not his question. What was your question?
Sometimes with regards to like the tipping option within Quote IQ, it's so easy and so many customers do it that you don't even remember specific customers that left a tip.
Yeah, we get lots of tips.
There you go. Okay, let's
But
answer
let me say
Jack's
this.
question.
So the guys still get tips all the time in cash. And what's surprising to me is they always tell me that, they got a tip or how big of a tip it was. And I think that they like to tell me that they got a tip because tips are a true reflection of the quality of work, the quality of service, and basically the overall customer experience, which I think is such an important part of our businesses. And so when they do a good job, when they do perform, when they build the rapport with the customer, and then that customer gives them, a substantial tip, they get tips like $50, $100 all the time. And they'll be like, this job is done, and they just gave me $100 tip, and I'm thrilled, right? I absolutely love it. They're making extra money, which is phenomenal for them, because when you do a good job, you're not always appreciated, and so when you are appreciated, it's nice to be appreciated with a couple dollars. And then I think they also like to tell me, because that is just emphasizing the fact that they are doing their job well. They're being good stewards of the company name. They're presenting themselves in a way that warrants praise and a tip. So they always got tips. And, every once in a while, when we were, getting checks or stuff like that, there would be an addition of a tip. Now, the previous system that we were using did not allow tips to be added onto invoices. And this, Justin, this was your idea, I believe, was to add on the tips. We had a couple people that initially, this wasn't something that we had within Quote IQ. And somebody was like, hey, it would be great if you could add tips on. We were kind of on the fence. And then you were like, no, let's go ahead and do it. We put it in, and it was on every invoice. So the customer gets the invoice, then they have the option to tip. People had issues with it. Some people had issues with it. And they're like, hey, I don't really feel comfortable asking for tips. So then we made it so you could turn it on or off. But to answer your question, we've always gotten tips. But now that we have added that option onto our the invoices within Quote IQ, it's freaking constant, like almost every single time, invoice tip. And I think that is because people are like, oh, well, everybody asks for a tip. Well, yeah, but the services that we're providing, it's a luxury service, right? And it's a service that is relatively high ticket. And I feel like when I go to McDonald's or Starbucks, I don't need to be presented with hey, they're going to ask you a couple questions. That shit pisses me off. I still tip them, because they like shame me into tipping them. But when I go to a nice restaurant, when I, if I valet or I do something like that, I always tip the guys, because it is something that is, these guys they're doing a good job, and I want to show them appreciation. And so the tipping option has made my guys a shit ton more money.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say the same thing. I always get guilted into the tip at Starbucks. I don't want to tip at the drive. Like, I've never tipped at any drive-through ever before. But here, let me ask you. This is gonna ask you a couple questions, and then I tip anyway, because I'm like, well, I'm sure this person is doing a good job and they need it and everything else. So it's a guilt into a tip. So tipping can go both ways, but at the end of the day, it's another thing that you can have in your tool belt to actually make some more money. I'm gonna share my screen real quick so you guys can see the invoicing within Quote IQ. And what it looks like. So you can invoice for free within Quote IQ. This is what it looks like. Super professional. We've had guys say that they actually close more jobs and make more money because the estimates and invoices look so good. And actually, this is an estimate. This isn't even an invoice, because I want to show you guys what that looks like. 2 seconds. I'm going to pull that up. But invoicing is a great way to get some extra tips. 2 seconds, Mike. I'm going to pull this in real quick. I got an invoice for Mike Tyson. Right here. My test. So this is my test account, because obviously I wouldn't show you guys like my main business account on here. And I love to put in funny names. They're all my favorites. And some of the names are a bit vulgar at times, but it is what it is. It's more fun that way, I like to say. Okay, so this is what the invoices look like. Super professional, company logo, all your company info. But this is basically where the customer pays right here. So they get your invoice total, and it's super easy to add on 10%, 15, 20, or they can actually do a custom tip here. And it's just another way that the customer can show their appreciation for the work that you've done. And like Mike said, they make tons of money just having this tipping option. So how much money are you losing out on by not having the option for them to give you a little bit of extra money? And we talk about tips. We've talked about tips before, but basically they are the value that the customer receives over what the price is, right? So they want to show you how much they appreciate that value in terms of a tip. So I saw Peaches had a really good question. Mike, what comes first, the tip or the satisfied customer?
The satisfied customer, right? Like,
I think it's a trick question, because
oh,
sometimes they're simultaneous. Sometimes the tip is what satisfies the customer.
good one. Good one. Okay, so
No, of
yes,
course.
let's ask Jack's question. Mike, have you ever lost a job because you mistakenly were insensitive, like to a dwarf? Now, Justin, Justin has, you know exactly what I'm talking about, Justin, don't you?
Oh yeah, I could never forget.
So I was insensitive to a dwarf, specifically a dwarf. And I made a comment to somebody that was very good friends with this dwarf, and it kind of killed our relationship. So we are no
Wow.
longer, we don't work with that guy. But no, so I might seem a little insensitive to some. Um, I don't think it's being insensitive at all. What I think it is people are not used to somebody that is completely transparent and just kind of says whatever they think. I don't give a damn if I hurt somebody's feelings. I don't like to hurt children's feelings, and that's why I try to. That's why I try to always ask people, like, are you a retarded person or are you a child? That way I can answer the question or respond to the comment appropriately. And I don't think it's bad to ask that question and just to qualify, because if you can understand the audience, and this goes for all business, if you can understand your audience, then you can respond appropriately and to the level at which they need to be interacted with. And so sometimes insensitivity and just being completely honest are somewhat confused.
I would say that that's not one of your strong points, Mike, is reading the room and knowing how to act accordingly. And I would also put it as brash. I think brash is a good terminology for
See,
being.
I think I can read a room and determine how I want to interact with that room better than anybody in the world, honestly.
If
Um,
you could read a room, you would not have made fun of that guy's dwarf friend. Let's be honest with
Oh,
ourselves.
I didn't like that guy, and I didn't like his dwarf friend, and I still don't like either of them. They both rub me the wrong way, just
Yeah,
like
that's
I rub a lot of people the wrong way too. And I am glad that we do not work with that agency.
for anybody who doesn't know, Mike actually used to be the head of customer relations with regards to Quote IQ. He has since had to been removed from that position, and he no longer serves us in that capacity. But somebody said, Peaches says, "Are you this blunt with your wife?" Actually, Mike's wife is our HR representative now. Everything gets run
We
through
had to
her.
appoint my wife as HR rep because okay, and again, this is something that's very important for, like, just this is just a life lesson. um, Understanding your weaknesses, identifying your shortcomings, and then taking corrective action to mitigate those shortcomings is something that only successful people do, right? And so what I do on a lot of occasions, like I said, I just kind of say what comes out of my mouth. However, I know that in a lot of cases, it's not the best thing to do. So in cases like that, I will be like, hey, dear, should I say this? And she'll say, do not say that. And then I kind of question her judgment. But then I realized that her judgment in this scenario is much better than my judgment, because I was probably going to say something that was going to offend a lot of people, burn bridges, and probably make me look like an asshole on the socials, because that's typically where these things come out. Because what happens is people will interact, I will react, and then they will screenshot and put it out there and say, "Oh my God, the guy that is the co-founder of Quote IQ, he's such an asshole. Look at what he said." But it's only a smidgen of what the truth is. It's only a snapshot of exactly what happened. It's just my reaction. So I need to work on my reactions, and that's why I'm no longer in charge of um, HR or customer support. I was also removed from the customer support role as well, if you recall, Justin.
Oh no, absolutely, absolutely. So I think Mike's one of his keys to business is self-awareness, right? Knowing when something needs to be changed and changing it accordingly. Me and Mike's strongest, one of our strongest characteristics, also serves as a negative characteristic as well, because there's no bounds to where we'll go with regards to our marketing. And our HR representative, who is Mike's wife, actually saved us on Easter because we were going to do a very passion-filled advertisement. And we didn't do it. And it was going to be a smashing success from
I
a
thought, like, I came up with this, like, we were gonna, I was, initially it's like, oh, let's do an Easter bunny 20% off sale. And then I thought, you know what? It's not about the bunny. It's about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And this was the day that he was crucified and rose from the dead. And I found the most gory picture of Jesus on the cross I could. And I put it in place of the bunny. And I thought this was going to really catch some attention. And it
And I
probably
think it
would
said
have.
like Jesus would use quote IQ or something like that. It was really good.
And then I
Okay,
think to
so
myself, would any of these other CRMs have the testicular fortitude to do the things that we do as far as our marketing goes? And the answer is absolutely not, because
yeah.
they actually have an HR person and they have, somebody that is, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus saves, Moses invests. Oh wait, I think we missed. We got some real questions. We're gonna answer some good questions here from the chat. I do want to answer this one question because it needs to be asked every week, and that is, what's the meat of the week, Mike?
Actually, last night we had a delicious meal. It was, and it wasn't anything spectacular. Like, it wasn't anything really great. However, I'm going to tell you what this week was. Okay, this week it was just ground beef, but we spiced it up with the fire sauce from Taco Bell. They're now selling it in little bottles that you could get at your local grocery store. Absolutely delicious. And it's not really like a hot sauce. It's more of a, I don't know, like a glaze. It's very thick. It's very, it's just unctuous. I absolutely love it. The umami. All words which I've been dying to use. I'm a big Food Network guy. So, Guy Fieri, if you're watching, hey, man. Anyway, that was the meat. But there's a place in Savannah. If anybody comes to Savannah, you need to go. It's called Alligator Soul. Alligator Soul is probably my favorite restaurant. Not probably. It is my favorite restaurant. I have had, the last time I went, they didn't have my favorite dish, which is kangaroo. Kangaroo is absolutely delicious. Probably one of the best meats you could ever put in your mouth. I've had elk there. They always have alligator, which is just delectable. But they've always got some kind of exotic meat like emu, things of that nature. So if you're ever in Savannah, go to Alligator Soul, and you might see me there.
I love that, Mike. I love that. Another couple great comments from Peaches and Jack. What would Jesus do? Use quote IQ.
You're right.
That's probably our slogan from here on
So
out, I think.
I need to know, is Peaches a woman or a male? Because Peaches kind of leads me to believe that, a different name. So I'm just curious.
Maybe Peaches can identify him or herself in the comment section.
As a fruit.
Word of the day, unctuous.
Unctuous. Yes, I think you're right, Jack.
Unctuous.
Kangaroo is like the most tender filet mignon that you would ever taste, but it's got a gamey taste to it as well. It's so good.
I love when Jack and Peaches hop in the chat because they give us we can talk about some other things. You know what I mean? More important work than this pressure washing work.
Yeah.
I've been in a month rut where my soft wash rig is breaking all the time. Very annoying. In 2 years of business, I've never had a span like this. Not a question, Mike, but what are your thoughts on equipment breaking?
Okay. Equipment breaks, and we work in an environment that is harsh. We work with caustics, we work with water, we also work with metal and other things that corrode from just wear and tear, and it's going to break down. And yes, it is unbelievably annoying, and it's one of those things. Like, I was just thinking about this the other day. I was working on a trailer for a good friend of mine who working on this trailer, and I was thinking to myself, wow, I actually kind of enjoy, getting back out and doing the hands-on as far as, the equipment goes, because as I have gotten older, as my business has grown, as I have gotten involved in more things, I will, I have outsourced a lot of that, right? Like, I that trailer, I couldn't. I think one of the coils was bad, so I took it up to L&H. I dropped it off there. I said, "Hey, please fix this," and they will, and I will pay them for it. But all of that being said, you are going to run into, and it seems like everything comes all at you at one time, right? Like, especially soft wash equipment. I don't know what you're running or what equipment you have, but there are some things that you deal with that, and you just fix them and you move on. But yes, it sucks.
Absolutely. When it rains, it pours, right? So, when the leads are coming in, they're coming in hot and fast. And when the things are breaking, it's the same kind of thing. Do you think business will get better, as in people wanting and getting people to clean houses, driveways, etc., after January, in terms of possible new presidential administration?
Okay, I am unbelievably excited about the possibility of a new administration. And do I think that that's going to have an impact? I think that the people, that's a very interesting question. And I honestly, I don't know if it's a high enough ticket thing that we're doing that, the political state of our country would influence. I mean, are things going to get financially better if we have a Republican in office? Yeah, absolutely. Right. Is Donald Trump going to do things for the country, like, oil, independence, energy independence? Like, there are a lot of things that have to happen. Gas prices, food costs, like everything is through the roof. Inflation is at all-time highs, and we need to have these things changed. And I think when people are more comfortable and they've got more money in their bank account, then yeah, of course, you're going to see more spending on things that are of luxury, just like the services that we provide. So I sure as hell hope so.
Couple things I want to add here, right? So, my great point with regards to discretionary income. The lower the cost of living, the more discretionary income people will have, and the more money they'll have to do, services around their house. But with regards to pressure washing houses and driveways and stuff like that, people need stuff right now, right? And they have money to do things. You need to figure out what those people need and how you can provide that service, especially if you're somebody that's slow. Okay, don't box yourself into just pressure washing, especially around these times. They get a little bit slower. You know what I mean? So open yourself up. What are people asking for? What do they need? How can I provide that service to them? Don't let the administration be something that is going to hold you back, or, well, when this person gets in office, business is going to be better, whatever the case may be. It might work out that way, but always take action in your own hands. And then the last thing is it would be very cool if a presidential candidate said, having a dirty driveway is illegal, because then, there'd be a lot of money to be had.
And hey, take that down, please.
Yeah. Is that what we're running on, Mike?
Yeah. Okay. Look, Vadan Rogers, 24, Make America Clean Again. One of the things that we are doing, besides removing tampons from boys' bathrooms in Minnesota, is we are going to be requiring all driveways to be clean, and I am going to disband the Clean Water Act of 1973, and we are going to introduce new law into the books, and it is going to be the Not So Clean Water Act of 2024. Vadan Rogers, get out there and vote in November, people.
Yes, put us on the ballot, write us in, because they don't want us on that ballot, I'll be honest with you, and we're going to have to fight for every single vote that we get. But the other thing that I was going to say is never put the success of your business in the hands of anyone else other than yourself. People need these services done. You can also leverage insurance companies, okay? Insurance companies are pulling coverage from people with dirty roofs, and so there's no legislation on dirty driveways, but there is policy in place for people that have roofs that are not up to code, that their homeowners insurance will be taken away. So a little bit of a tidbit there, but I would never let an administration stop me from, creating the life that I want. Right, Mike?
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Is kangaroo meat the secret to sleeping less and working more?
It's one of the secrets. And then just, being disciplined. And dude, I hate sleeping.
I
It's the
think this is
worst.
the same guy that asked it if you had any type of herbal remedies for how to sleep less
I
and
don't
work
know, man,
more.
but like I was thinking about that the other day. It was like 4:30 in the morning, and I'm laying in bed, and I'm like, God, this is so stupid. Like, I feel like my body has to sleep, and it does, right? Like, you have to, but like, it's such a waste of time. I got this thing, and it tells me, like, it monitors my sleep, and it tells you like how many hours you're like in a deep, REM sleep, and then there's like 4 different stages of sleep, and then it tells me it's called a sleep deficit, that, and it tells me I've got a sleep deficit every single day because it says my body's not getting the sleep that I need, but I don't agree, and so it pisses me off, but it says that I need like 12 hours of sleep a day, and I think that's just ridiculous. Your microphone is muted. This is the best thing ever. I'm glad that when Justin's muted. So Peacha says, if you do lawn care and pressure washing, which one is best
All
to be
right,
focused?
no, I'm coming back. Oh wait, I had a really good one. I think that means you're a koala bear. That was my joke. Fuck, I don't know why it muted. It wouldn't let me unmute it either. It's very weird.
Well, I wish it would have, because that was terrible.
What, the koala bear joke?
Yeah, why?
Because koala bears sleep a majority of the day, big stallion. You don't know
Oh,
about koalas?
I know about drop bears.
Well, okay. The other thing that I want to say, I like sleep personally. Through my whole waking hours, that's all I can think about is like how to grow and scale, and like it's nice to have a little bit of a break from that. You know what I mean? Because when when you're very success oriented, you can't turn off your brain for any extent. If you do lawn care and pressure washing, which one is the best to do first on the same job?
Lawn care first because you're going to make a mess. Pressure washing next to clean everything up.
Absolutely. Now, typically, businesses wouldn't offer both of these services. They're kind of two ends of the spectrum, right? Like Mike technically had a lawn care business and a pressure washing business, but like with lawn
They were
care, you
completely separate P&Ls, separate, everything was separate.
trucks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The cool thing about maybe we could let's flip this question to this, Mike. Which business would be a better business to start, a lawn care business or a pressure washing business?
From a pure margin standpoint, I would say that a pressure washing business is going to generate more income faster, bigger tickets, less. I mean, with lawn care, it's a route work, right? You're compiling lists of customers who you're going to service on a regular basis. If you can do that, a lot of these guys are just like, hey, they put an ad on next door. I cut lawns, and then somebody lets their lawn get really long, and they like, I don't know. I didn't have a landscape business. I had a lawn maintenance business, and we did some landscaping, but a lawn care business is a good. I mean, I made, it was a couple $100,000 a year is what, we averaged gross. It was a small business, and it was a good business. I kept people employed. It was, nice extra money. It was a lot of equipment. The gentleman earlier talked about equipment issues, lots of equipment to deal with, lots of moving parts as far as employees, right? And I don't want to say this, but like a lot of the people that do lawn care aren't like the most reliable, come to work on time and do a good job. And, it is what it is. There's a certain pay rate that you can pay lawn care guys, and sometimes you get what you pay for, and most of the times you do. So I would say pressure washing way before lawn care. But Peaches, when Justin said there's two separate, a lot of lawn care companies offer pressure washing, just like a lot of painting companies offer pressure washing. It's, like an additional service. But unless you're super slow, you probably wouldn't do both on the same day.
Right. So the one thing that I want to say about lawn care versus pressure washing is they're kind of the same thing. It just one's more spread out, right? So like if you think about like how often a lawn care company would service a customer, maybe it's like 30 times a year, right? And let's say that the average service is $40. So 30 times 40 would be $1,200. Now, when you go and service a customer's property for pressure washing, let's say you do a house wash, driveway cleaning, and maybe a roof wash, maybe your average ticket is $1,200. So either you could grab that $1,200 on one servicing, or you can grab it over the course of 30 to 40 servicings, if that makes any sense. So the beautiful part about lawn care is the fact that you get recurring customers over a longer period of time versus pressure washing. You pretty much get them like once a year. So
Justin,
what do you think, Mike?
I think you're a brilliant man. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on that.
Wow.
Do you know
Yeah.
what?
What were
You
you
know
going
what
to
I
say,
forgot
Mike?
to tell you?
Are you being
Remember
rude, Mike?
What?
I said, are you being rude, Mike? I can't tell.
No. You remember the other day when I told you, I was like, hey, I just bought like $100 worth of stamps.
Yeah.
And I bought it because I got all these Quote IQ stickers.
Right.
And so I said, hey, if anybody wants any stickers, just shoot me a message, shoot me an email, and with your address, and I'll send you guys some stickers. And so I went and like I used all the stamps that I had. I went out and I bought a roll. Stamps are expensive. Like a roll of stamps, this was like $90 or something like that. I think there's like 120 stamps in here. And so I came home and I was gonna start. I had like 30 people that I was gonna send these stamps to, or send the little stickers to, and I couldn't find my scroll of stamps anywhere. And I felt terrible. I was like, dude, I just lost like $100 bill. And it wasn't even mine. It was like Quote IQ's money. And so I felt terrible. And I didn't tell you about it, Justin, because, I lost it. And so I went and bought more stamps. And then yesterday when I was up at the yard, it rained all day yesterday. So the guys weren't working. So I had the trailers and I was up there working on the trailer that I had mentioned earlier. And I was in the toolbox. I found the roll of stamps.
Oh my gosh, Mike. Thank goodness.
So it was in my pocket, and I must have thrown like tools or whatever shit that I had in my pocket into that toolbox. I was so happy.
Back in my day, stamps were about 5 cents a piece. Remember when you could send a piece of mail for nothing,
Oh, I remember.
Those were the good old days. JP says, hey, just started my pressure washing business. I took your idea with shaking hands and kissing babies. I'm going to start handing flyers. Should I leave them in a mailbox or hand it to the homeowner? Thanks.
If you can hand it to the homeowner, that would be even better. It's going to be more time consuming, but yeah, I mean, either way, I think put them in the mailbox. Yeah, and if I say leave them in the mailbox, then I would be telling you to commit a federal crime. So don't put them in the mailbox. You can leave them, and people are crazy about that stuff. But yeah, flyers are a great way to get your name out there. It's a low cost way, and if you can put it in a homeowner's hands and make that connection, it would probably behoove you to do so.
I've probably passed out like tens of thousands of flyers. Like that's how I got my start, was just I'd hit neighborhoods until I got a job, leverage
That's
Facebook
how I
groups.
met Justin. I was sitting in my office and my doorbell rang and there was this guy at the door and I was like, hey, how can I help you? And he's like, hey, sir, listen, if you could just come out here, I wanted to show you, you got some weeds in your yard. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, can I pick your weeds? And I was like, I'll give you $4. And he said, sold. And he went out there and he worked for hours. And I gave
You
him,
guys want to know how Mike really met me? Mike saw this YouTube sensation collecting hundreds of thousands of views, and he said, dude, this motherfucker knows what he's doing. Let me contact him.
that may or may not have happened. I don't know.
Sir, please, I noticed something on your house. No, that's funny, Mike. That was a good one. But I would say anytime you can make a personal connection with the homeowner and you can put a face to the card, you're going to give yourself a leg up. Because how many pieces of mail do we get that we just throw into the trash because they're not connected to anything? But like, if you make a personal, tell them a joke, put a smile on their face, make their day.
A little jokey joke.
That's right. And you'll have some more success.
I got this mail today.
Oh my gosh, dude! I had a dream last night that like Trump won. Like I don't know why. It's so weird, and I just remembered it too.
I have a dream every night that Trump wins.
That's really good. Like Martin Luther, right, Mike?
Yeah, I have a dream that one day.
Keep going, Mike. Do you know the whole speech?
I know. Yeah, I actually do. We had to memorize that.
Perfect. Do you guys have a job time tracking feature within Quote IQ?
Okay. Did you send us a support ticket or an email about this? Because I just got the same question yesterday. And I was curious as to why. I mean, I understand from a costing standpoint, but a lot of people don't think that deep. So are you using something that currently does have job time tracking? And then how is that coming back into your platform to help you determine cost? I would love to know what you're talking about. You don't have to answer here. Send us an email. We're easy to find, and do that.
This is something that we need. This is like on our top list right now is a job time tracking feature as well as employee time tracking. So those are two things that we're really working on. The biggest thing with regards to Quote IQ, guys, is we developed this app with the features in mind that would help the largest portion of the user base, right? And so I would say that a large portion of our user base does not have employees. They're more one-man shows. So all the tools that we implemented in here from the beginning were for one-man shows. But now, as we're continuing to grow and scale and build and do all those things, we're kind of branching out and doing more and more with regards to that. So time tracking as well as employee tracking, I think, are two things that are going to be coming very soon to Quote IQ. When you say so, Mike?
Yeah.
Mike likes to get ahead sometimes when we read the chat. What do you see, Mike? You want me to pull it in, bro?
No. Just keep going. This is fun.
Okay. We're gonna get down. We're gonna get down there. Do y'all have a good way to ask people's contact info from Facebook Messenger? I've had a lot of leads coming in from there, but they get confused when I ask them for their contact info. So, Cole, here's the thing with regards to Facebook, and this is something that I teach within the Facebook ad strategy. You want to keep people on the platform that they find you on because that's where they're kind of comfortable at. They weren't actively seeking you out, and so when you do get them, sometimes they're a little bit hesitant to give you a ton of information. Like that's the good thing about Facebook. It acts as a buffer, right? And so when you have a buffer,
a shitty customer filter.
Well, I've landed a lot of jobs off of Facebook. We've landed like big jobs too. So the easier it is to extract the customer's information, the more intent that they have. So if you're asking customers for their information, and like, oh, I don't want to give you that, then it's like they're probably not going to buy anyway. So just ship them over a price. The other thing is I would give them the price first on Facebook, and then if they say yes, then build out all their info within Quote IQ, because otherwise it's just going to be a waste of time. So yeah, that's a good way to go. Keep it low risk for them with regards to providing too much info, and the more information they provide, the more intent they have.
Cool. I do use some Facebook marketing. In fact, I mean, we run quite a bit of money into there, a lot, as well as a bunch of other places. But I, 9 times out of 10, I won't send a formal estimate until after I've hit them with a text or an email or just talked to them on the phone and said, "Hey, you know, this is the price. Do you want to get on the schedule?" And they're like, "Yes." Then I'll send them the estimate so then they can approve it. So then they can see the contract. So then I've got, my ass covered by doing that. So if somebody, like Justin said, and that's why I said I wasn't saying that Facebook is bullshit, but I was saying bad customer filter, because if they are unwilling to give you their contact information, they are not going to be your customer, right?
Absolutely. Those are the rules. Okay, so yeah, hopefully that answered the question, Cole. I just bought a pressure washer and an '04 pickup truck. I've literally spent all the money I can spare on that. I can only work on weekends outside of my normal job. Any tips for making money fast?
Yes. Yes, there is. If you have a normal job, you're working, say, 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, whatever the case is. So, do you know what you have? You've got another 8 hours of work that you can do every single day. You have got from 4 a.m. or 5 a.m., whatever you want, to 7 or 8, and then you've got from 5 to 9, right? So you've got on other sides of your regular workday, you've got a shit ton of time that you can use to build your business, to do your marketing, to get on the phone, to cold call, to text, to email. Like, yeah, you've got a job, but if you're serious about building and growing, you have to use all the time at your disposal, and you've got 8 hours extra every single day of your life. And if you are looking, and you said weekends, which is great, you don't need weekends. Weekends are something that was created, like time off, that was created within the past probably 50 years. Before that, people just fucking worked, right? And if you're serious about building your business, growing your business, leaving your 9 to 5 behind, then you have to take advantage of every waking hour and commit to yourself, to the job, to your future. And that's what I tell you. That's how you can make money fast. And that's, I'm not giving you the details, right? But the details are out there, right? And you spend all your money. So get on the internet, get on Google, watch my channel, watch Justin's channel, dive in deep, and you will find all of the things. Watch these lives. There are gems in here. And yeah, we play around a lot and we have fun. But if people actually extracted the information that we're providing in all of our content, you could literally make a tremendous amount of money just by taking a few of these things and implementing them. But it takes consistency, and it takes heart, and it takes dedication. And it sounds like you have that. You spent all your money to start this thing, and I wish you the best of luck, Daryl.
The quickest way to make money is to find people that need things done and to offer those services to them. Like I said, I've said this 500 times. When you lock yourself in the pressure washing box, if people don't need pressure washing at that time, you are shit out of luck. So find what people need, offer those services to those people. Me and Mike have made a ton of different videos with regards to marketing, how to get the word out. But whatever it is that you offer, I love what you said, Mike, about, the weekend. People just used to work, and now it's like, can't work in the weekend, right? And so if you want to be successful, though, there'll be no such thing as weekends. There's going to be no such thing as like the clock ending either. Like me and Mike don't work 9 to 5. Like we work, I don't even know. Like,
Dude, my wife
from,
and my kids, they get pissed sometimes because they're like, dude, like, or they'll be like, oh, like when do you not work? That's the question, is when do you not work? And even when I'm like not working, I'm still thinking about it. Like I'm making notes, and I'm sending myself texts, and I'm texting Justin, and I'm like, okay, we need to implement this. We need to do this. Or I'm talking to the marketing guy, or I'm talking to the developing guy, our development team, all of these things. It's like, there is never a moment where I'm not, thinking about what can make me better, what can make the business better, and whatever business it is. So again, it's, and some people are just wired differently. Like I've had employees before tell me, like, dude, like I work from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. and after that, like, don't call me and don't text me. And that's hard for me, because like for me, I'm so passionate and I'm so committed and so dedicated that I can't turn it off. I just can't. and to my own detriment to some degree. I mean, fortunately, it hasn't cost me relationships or anything like that. Well, it has. It has cost me relationships, not with my family, but with friends, people that add zero value to my life that I do not benefit from dealing with. Like, if you are a loser, if you don't, if you don't contribute, then you're dead to me. And so, I joke about not having any friends, and my kids always joke about, yeah, you've got one friend. And well, now I have two friends, because Justin's my friend and then my wife. But they're like, yeah, for the longest time, I'm like, yeah, dad doesn't have friends. He's got mom. That's it. And that's true.
Yeah, it depends on how successful you want to be, right? If you want to be Michael Jordan versus if you want to be, high school basketball coach. Yeah, there's two different levels here to, what you want to be. And I think me and Mike strive to be the absolute best in everything that we do. And so for us, it's hard to turn it off. Jack had a really good comment, and he said, ultra successful people don't see what they do as work. We don't see what we do as work at all. It's more so play to us. And at the end of the day, with regards to Mike not having a ton of friends, it's because we surround ourselves with the best people that we want to, and because we know how much those people rub off on us. And so me and Mike act as a catalyst for one another, right? And so it's always like we're always pushing each other up. So yeah, rising tide lifts all.
Our HR director just got home.
Oh, nice. Okay, we have a couple things we need to run by her. She's not going to approve of this live because some of the topics we talked about.
I hope she doesn't see it.
You're going to be in trouble later, big guy. So depends on how, with regards to Daryl's question, depends on how successful you want to be. How much are you willing to give up with regards to your time, energy to learn this and then to actually implement it as well? It's one thing to talk about, oh, well, I'm doing this in my off hours. Like I want this to be successful. It's another thing to actually take action. Me and Mike talk to guys all the time. We have our one-on-one coaching program. Our coaching program cuts through all of the bullshit. Like, you guys can watch YouTube videos until the end of time. What we do is we give you actionable steps week in, week out, hold you accountable to actually doing those steps. And so that way you can see the result of those actions. And then that way, after the 8 weeks, you got the blueprint. You know exactly where you need to go from here. But if you want to figure it out yourself, you absolutely can. It's just going to take more time, energy, and effort, to get there. Wouldn't you say something, Mike?
Yeah, 100%. And it's, it takes a lot to make the investment into your knowledge, into your education, and to kind of like say, okay, I don't know everything. And, we've talked about this before. I mean, I struggled for the longest time paying people to learn what I didn't know. But the time that it's saved, it's so valuable. Like, I mean, you could, this is well, I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know.
Education is going to really help you out.
Hey, education is something that is very important. And if you want to do better than you currently are, you need to get better at what you want to do. And that is by learning how to do it. And if you can't learn on your own, if you can't find it on the internet, then, find somebody that can teach you.
The thing is, it's about opportunity cost. We have a guy in our coaching program that's going to do his first $20,000 a month in the slower time of the year this month. And so what is your opportunity cost? How much are you not investing and not gaining because you're not willing to make that investment? So, hey, look, anyway, Daryl, I hope that answered your question. Find a way to provide value to people in return for money. And that's basically the quickest way to cash for you and your business. Okay, sweet. I'm getting more lawn care jobs instead of soft washing jobs, and I do both. So lawn care, the only problem with it is a race to the bottom, right? If John will cut my grass for 45, but then Billy says he'll cut it for 35, like, who am I loyal to? I'll take the $35 guy, right? As long as he does a decent job. So that's the biggest problem with lawn care. Wouldn't you say so, Mike?
I mean, the same could be said for pressure washing as well. I think a lot of it has to do with how you're running your business. Are you running it like a professional? Are you running it like a business? Are you building those relationships? Are you doing all the things that real businesses do, right? And I think a lot of lawn care guys don't. Yeah, maybe Johnny does charge 35 and Billy charges 45. But if Billy is there on time when he says he's going to be on time, he looks good, his uniform is clean, his truck isn't leaking oil in the street, he is, doing a good job, and, he sends you an invoice, he gives you options to pay the invoice different ways, he offers different plans for you. There are a lot of things that can add value even to different businesses, home service businesses, right? A maid service, a janitorial service, all of these things, a lot of it has to do with presentation of the business and the follow-ups, right? Even if it's, lawn care is a continual service, but also having interaction, knocking on the door. Hey, Mr. Jones, did everything look good today? I noticed this, and this, providing more value, providing, that extra touch of professionalism, of communication. These are all things that will set you apart. So the $10 actually doesn't matter to a lot of people, right? Like my lawn care guy, he's awesome. And there are a lot of people that are cheaper than him, significantly cheaper than him, but he does a phenomenal job. He shows up when he says he's going to show up. He takes care of the things that need to be taken care of, and that's it, right? So I don't know. I mean, if you're getting more lawn care jobs right now, then lean into lawn care. But, I also would say focus on the soft washing, because the soft washing is going to generate a lot more income. It's going to be higher profit margins. And, if you do all the things that I just talked about, then those customers are going to be with you next year and the year after and the year after. And probably, if you're honest with yourself, the LTV, the lifetime value of a soft wash customer just for 1 year is probably pretty damn close to what it could, if you're doing the right thing, if you're charging enough, if you're upselling, if you're doing all the things that we preach all the time, then the lifetime value for one service is going to be probably equivalent to a full year of service for a lawn care company. So
Absolutely. The other thing to take into consideration is if you're charging $45 for a lawn care service, or you're charging $450 for a pressure washing, you're going to have a lot more $45 customers than you are $450 customers. Okay. So, yeah, but the idea is to blend both. So that way you got your big ticket and you have your recurring, because when you can blend both of those, you're going to be in a great position with regards to your business, because you got the
100%.
longevity of the recurring, and then you have the influxes of cash from, the higher ticket. So, that's the best way to be, I think, personally. The other thing is make sure you're leveraging all these people. So yes, you might go cut somebody's grass and they might not be interested in pressure washing this week, but how often are you remarketing to your current customer base with that pressure washing offer? Because eventually they're going to need another service done, whether that be pressure washing, gutter cleaning, whatever the case may be.
So when I had my lawn care business, we invoiced monthly, and everything was automatically sent out. And one of the things at the bottom, the footer of every single lawn care invoice that was sent out, it said every single All-American property maintenance customer gets a 20% discount on any of the pressure washing services. These are some of the ones that we offered. So I was consistently monthly pounding the fact that A, we offer another service, B, you get a discount if you use it because you're one of our current customers. And we got a ton of business from it. These are the things that will make you successful, Justin. And I didn't share this with you yet, but I just got one of our email editors. I'm reading. Where is this? Trying to find it. But the follow-up, that was one of the things that we said we were going to talk about today. A guy, Mr. Lewis, and I don't know if we can see this or not, because I never can. This is one of my follow-up emails, and the subject line, and you can get all of my email sequences, every single one of them that I send. If you're a Quote IQ user and you have the email automation, you can download my exact templates, input your information, set them into motion. You don't have to think about when to send them, what the subject lines are, what the body of the text is. I've already created what works really good for me, and I've refined it over many years. But this is the subject line. Take it. It's called "It's Been Almost a Year." And it says hey, it's been almost a year since your last appointment with All American Pressure Cleaning. Please let me know if you'd like to set up to have a time to have us come back out and perform the following services. And then within Quote IQ, it shows, the last services that they provided. I also provide them with an estimate, of the last service, and then also the ability to go in and to schedule their appointment. And so this guy respond back. And again, I haven't talked to this guy in probably 12 months, because we probably booked him a month before his service started. But my company, my email automation through Quote IQ, has continually been touching this guy. That sounded bad. Has been in front of him in his inbox for a year, right? Not spammy, but enough. He gets this email, Mike, please give me a quote to low pressure wash the house at blah, 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 blah. You've done it before. Also, you've never cleaned out the gutters or given us an estimate for the roof. Please do so. Let me know. I'd like to get on the schedule next week, Mr. Lewis. So zero effort on my part except implementing something in the first place. Systems, automations to make my business run smoother and to generate cash flow all through the year. And that was just one example of the things that you can do within your business to, make it that much better.
And we talk all the time about like every single customer that you service works somewhere, or maybe they own a business, or maybe they own rental properties, or like all these different things. If you're not getting all the services you offer in front of all these customers, how are they even going to know that they can hire you to do anything else? So it's all about maximizing. I think you got the perfect blend, Highland Services. You got the blend of the low ticket on the mowing side, and then you get the high ticket on the pressure washing side. So blending those is a great way to go. Just making sure that your customers are always aware of what you offer is going to be the big thing. And he left another comment here. I like to track everything I do with pen and paper when I'm mowing yards because it gives me notes on how I'm doing and what I did, how long I took a break, how did I talk, and give an estimate too. Um, the only problem with pen and paper is, man, is like, you can never go back and track it. The beautiful thing about Quote IQ is under each customer contract, you have every single estimate that you ever sent, every single invoice that you ever sent. You have customer notes under there. So I would say having something that's more digital is going to actually make it easier for you to keep everything organized as well as be able to find it when you need it. When you say
Yeah.
something, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I used to do it on pen and paper, and I have probably left hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table because the first 5 or 6 years of my business, everything was on pen and paper, and I couldn't tell you where those are. I don't have any contact information. I don't have anything. So do it digitally.
Right, and all I gotta do is come in here. I would come into my contacts. Obviously, this is a dummy account, but I'd click on like Big Mike here, and then we could see every single estimate that we ever did for Big Mike right here. We can see all the invoices that we ever sent Big Mike. We can see the inspection forms if we perform any inspection forms for him. If I wanted to include notes right here, we could include notes. So it's all about just remaining organized. It's all under the customer's contact. I don't have to fumble through old notebooks of um, whatever you wrote down or whatever the case may be. So it's just an easier way to keep track of your business. So be sure to check it out. You can try any tier of Quote IQ for $1, or you can use it for free. There's some free features. So let's get into the next one. Sorry if this question is asked a billion times. I just graduated high school. Should I start a pressure washing business?
Yeah.
I would
I
say you
mean,
should definitely start a service business.
yeah, for sure. I mean, the trade service businesses is, in my opinion, where the future is. If you want to make have a good life, a good living, uh, with the understanding that it doesn't come, easily. It's not, this is a hard choice. And yeah, do I want to start a pressure washing business? Do I want to start this, that, or the other? Sure. Yeah, it's a great idea. I just graduated, but then what? You know, so yeah, the opportunities are there if you're willing to put in the work, time, the effort, and understand that it doesn't happen overnight. And if you can understand those things, and you also understand that it's going to be a very difficult road to build, then yeah, go for it. If not, if that's not if that's not what you're built of, made of, then you can always go get a job, go to college, and then spend $100,000, be in debt, and come out in the hole hoping to find a job. I don't know.
Excellent, excellent. I'm gonna highlight this question. SMM, make the app more versatile. I do appliance repair. Couldn't make your app work for that. The app works for absolutely everything. So, and I'll show you here. Look, let's show them right now. All you gotta do
Or
is hop in.
well, hey, but also, have you set up a demo call to have someone from our team walk you through? Because we've got guys that do all kinds of stuff.
So all you'd have to do is when you go in to create your account, you go into settings, you go into company info, and then underneath this, you would just select other, right? What that's going to do is going to give you an empty service list. And so you come in here to your services, and then you just add in whatever your services are. So like, let's say, we'll just call it fridge repair, right? So there's our service description. We repair your fridge. And then you would set a service price. Well, we have a minimum pricing of $150 for fridge repairs. What type of pricing is this? It's a per quantity basis. If they have more than one fridge, then you could do, it's all per quantity. So like the category, you could then put this under, a specific category if you want to do it that way. But then we would just click save. And then anytime we needed to create a fridge repair, we would then, go in, create our fridge repair. It would have all of the stuff saved. So Quote IQ works for every single service. I would say if you had some trouble with it, go to quoteiq.com. You can then select a demo date and then just hop on with our guy. Our guy will help you set up everything within your account. with regards to whatever your service is. Thank you, sir. Only used iPad app. The guy who does our demo actually only uses iPad app
Hey,
as well.
our
What?
HR manager just walked in.
Oh, does she want to make an
She got,
appearance?
and she got her hair done. You got your hair did? Looks beautiful. Gonna walk
Lee,
the
you are
dog.
not going to be
Well,
happy
hey,
about
we're
the
on
stuff
a live.
that
We were
Mike is
talking
saying
about
on here.
how when sometimes I have things that I would like to say, and then you say not to say them.
Yes,
A lot?
a lot. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
You don't
Well,
listen to me.
Yeah.
I
What
say it.
do I have an issue with dwarfs?
No, what do you mean an issue?
Like, I mean, do you think I like
Like
dwarfs?
an explanation with?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you.
And what about retarded people?
Yeah, I guess you like them as well.
Yep, I like them all.
Mike
See,
has an
I like
affinity
dwarfs and
for elf
retarded
culture.
people.
There you go.
She's telling me not to say that on the YouTube.
Too late. Look, Mike's
Too
already
late.
breaking all the rules.
Oh my God.
Is it pouring?
No, my front format.
Oh my God.
Mike, how important are tan lines when pressure washing or doing lawn care?
Well, I don't have any tan.
I think that tells us everything we need to know.
Yeah. Well, I've got my own pool. And so because of that, like there's no need to wear a bathing suit ever, except my neighbors that look at me all the time. They're really weird. But no.
Mike has a really famous neighbor that has a house near him. So we
And
can't say
that
the
dude
name.
does like to like have a little look-see through. And
Didn't he make you sign an NDA so you wouldn't say who he was?
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But man,
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction is awesome. And have you ever seen Look Who's Talking 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Or what's that dancing movie he was in?
Yeah. Oh, Staying Alive? No, what was it? Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
Oh, Grease.
Grease. That was it. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, good one.
Those are really good movies. They have nothing to do with the person that may or may not live in.
Yeah,
Mike's
I
neighborhood.
have no idea if the gentleman that starred in every single one of those movies actually lives across the pond from me. But I don't know.
Mons Travolta rhymes
Yeah.
with that, I think.
It does not rhyme with John Travolta. Oh, I think that NDA is actually expired. So,
Oh, that's pretty good.
hey, John, if you're watching, you owe me money.
That's right.
I
that's
actually
right.
had to call they've got a property manager, and so they have bark like mulch, and it's all in the beds in the back, and then they're the like what is it like the bank that goes down into the lagoon has mulch on it too. So every time there was a heavy rain, all their mulch would end up in the lagoon, and then eventually it sinks, and then you'll have to have it dredged, the lagoon dredged eventually. But it just would piss me off, and so I told them like 3 different times that they've got like a guy on the ground that manages the house, and I told him twice. He didn't do anything about it. So then I texted his boss, and boy, like the yard guys were out there the next day doing exactly what I told them that they needed to do, and so we don't have that problem anymore. So thank you, Mr. Revolta.
For anybody who doesn't know, well, nobody knows this. Mike actually built more land. You remember when you were extending out your land into the lagoon?
Yeah, I was expanding my territory.
That's right. So, and he didn't even pay for it either. He was just building more. He was conquering the lagoon.
Well, the like sometimes when you've got like lagoons or water ponds, whatever, the bank will sometimes banks erode. And so we had lost probably like a foot of our, like the area. And so we have a fence. And when I would open up the fence, like the fence would like almost like go to the water. So then you'd have to, go out, close the fence. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to expand my territory. So I initially went and I bought a bunch of Quikrete bags, and I put them in, and I built up dirt on top of that. Then I laid sod, and that was awesome, and that worked. And so I was like, I'm going to continue to do it. And so I probably added another, I don't know, not a lot, like 20 square foot, but it looks great.
Mike now owns half of Georgia after his expansion. Okay, couple cool comments. Got a 225 tip on $1,000 wash last week. Great
Nice.
add-on for the app. Absolutely. Elite, we appreciate you. Elite also says that he loves these vids, listens even if he's washing. So we
I
appreciate
love it.
that, man. That's awesome.
And what do you like most? Do you like my stories, or do you like Justin pontificating on various subject matter?
Well, it's not, I mean, it's actionable though. I mean, it's not pontification, Mike. These are things that I've learned from
This is
decades of
true,
experience.
and
Yeah.
we all appreciate it.
Oh, that's really sweet. I know you get a lot out of these in it. You probably get more out of this than anybody else, right? Right, Mike? From me at least, from the things that I talk
Oh
about.
yeah, it's like a cornucopia of knowledge and information that is just pouring into my brain, and I feel enlightened and like a better person after these calls all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Peaches says Justin has lots of washing wisdom.
Yeah,
I
you
couldn't
got
agree
that
more.
right.
Yeah. And then pontification could be the word of the day as well. That's a good word. It was either pontification or I
Unctuous.
forgot. Unctuous. Okay. Unctuous. Um Shorts, when you guys get triggered by the comments. Y'all should make comment responses again. Oh yeah. Dude, the shorts game is kind of whack now. There's just so many people making me and Mike, okay. For anybody who doesn't know this, me and Mike got started with shorts at the very beginning. Okay. One day I woke up and I had an idea for a short and I made it. And I think that short has like 11 million views now. But like after that, I was cranking in 2 a day every single day. And then I got Mike on it. But like literally, we would release shorts and they would do millions of views like overnight.
Incredible. Like
It
I
was
remember watching and like you could see like the numbers, right? Like just going like visually you could see like it would jump from like 1,000 to 5,000 to 10,000. You're like, what the hell? And so so I don't, what was the first one you did? Do you remember?
I did I don't remember the first one. I remember the first one that hit was how to start a pressure washing business in under a minute. And like I said, that one's got like 12 million. But then we
Yeah.
started figuring out other things that worked, like how people would get mad about water. And like we did
Oh God.
remember the one
Well,
where
and that
Mac
was
was
kind
hunched
of my
over?
little superpower. And you avoided it for the longest time because I was just a dick and I would take, because people love to leave comments on my videos about whatever. And so I would just lean into the fact that people thought I was an asshole, and I would be the biggest jerk and come up with ways to insult people in the nicest way possible. And those absolutely crushed. And then and I kept saying, Justin, you need to do these. He's like, no, I don't want to do those. I don't feel comfortable. And then I remember the first one that you ever did, but it's
And then I
mostly just
started
fun.
doing them.
Yeah.
They were such an art form. Like they started off as just like a fun little passion project, and then they became just an art form. And it was like it was just so beautiful whenever a short would come together, and it absolutely crushed. But now it's like, not that it's certainly harder. I can still go viral with shorts. There's not as much upside either to shorts as what there used to be. So I don't know. Those were the glory days. There was one day I checked my YouTube analytics. There was one day I got over 6 million views, Mike, and it was just because I'm sure like a couple. Dude, I was hitting like trending pages on YouTube because it was like as soon as YouTube released the feature, there wasn't like everybody doing them.
Yeah.
So it was easy to go viral.
Oh my
So.
God, dude. It was, and what's even worse. And so then not worse, my kids, they would start saying, like on TikTok and Instagram, like, Dad, you're on my For You page. And I was like, what is that? Like, I didn't even know what it was. Right. I just,
Right.
because I never used Instagram or any of that stuff for like personal reasons. I was just uploading all of my YouTube shit there. And like all their friends were following. And my youngest daughter, who was like probably, I don't know, in 6th grade at the time, she's like, Dad, like, I'm going to have to block all of my friends on your account because I don't want them seeing the stuff that you say.
Damn. Oh man. And then we had links back then. Oh God. It was a beautiful
So
time on
good.
YouTube. It was just the perfect
And then
time.
every fucking jackass in the world decides they were going to like 100% copy everything that we did. It's unbelievable. And they did it poorly.
Yeah. You guys are the reason competition is so fierce. It's like Anchorman out here. The thing is, okay, let me tell you guys this. There's people that started because of what we did, right? But there's people that take it to the highest level. Okay, so if you guys know the 80-20 principle, it's that, 80% of the business is done by 20% of the service providers. And so if you're able to capitalize, I mean, dude, if you're on this right now, we give you guys the cheat codes week in and week out on all the stuff that works the absolute best. And I promise you that 95% of the people out there are not implementing like half of the things that we're even talking
Yeah.
about. right, Mike? This is how we know. Mike's best year was last year in his wash business. We have been putting out content on the internet for like 4 years. And so if we were really like, obviously people are starting because of us, but if we were really killing industries, like Mike's business would be absolutely crushed. Wouldn't you say so,
Yeah.
Mike?
Oh, 100%. Best year ever last year. And the previous year that was the best year. So we are continually building on on our business. And that is with us, teaching everybody what to do and how to do it. But see, that's the thing that so many people fail to realize is if people take what we teach, they are going to elevate your market, right? Because they're not going to be the cheap guy out there. They're not going to be out there, giving away their services. They are going to be trying to get every fucking penny they can get, and every service that they can provide. They're going to be upselling. They're going to have, the best equipment that they can afford. They are going to be presenting themselves in a way. They're going to be sending, estimates and invoices that look professional. They are going to elevate the market. And if you can't keep up, then shame on you. But they are going to push that market higher. Okay. And you need to either keep up or pack up and leave. But, and there are people that will get into the business. They won't do a good job and they will be out of business. Their stuff will be on Facebook Marketplace for sale for cheap. You can buy it for cheap. You're welcome. But at the end of the day, I don't think that we are hurting the market. Case in point, yesterday, I said I'd gone over to the local place where, they do some work for us and I buy some of the equipment. And there was a guy in the parking lot. I was just telling Crystal about this. He was in the parking lot and he was like, there was the maintenance, the service guy was out there and it looked like he was like showing them how to work different stuff. And I just walked by, gone in, got what I needed, had come back out. And when I was walking by, I was like, hey, are you just getting into the business? And he goes, no, third generation. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Where are you from? And he was from about an hour away. And so he goes, yeah. And I was like, oh, do you know so-and-so and so-and-so? And he's like, yeah, I know those guys. Good dudes. And he goes, honestly, I don't really know a whole lot of the people and other people in the market. He said, it just seems like there's so many that are, coming out all the time. And he goes, and then this place gets built and this just made it even worse. Right. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what an excuse. And he was, and I don't know this guy but to his point, yes, a beautiful building with all the equipment and high level service and people that are willing to teach you the things that you need to know, from it's L&H Industrial here in Savannah. They do a great job. Sergio, Tina, Terry, all of them are phenomenal. And they are willing to take the time and point you in the right direction as far as the equipment that you need and how to use, like they really do a good job. And some people would look at that and say, oh, they're destroying the industry because they're teaching people how to do it. And I think to myself, no, they're elevating the industry because they're teaching people how to do it. And it's the exact same thing with what we do. We are teaching you guys the best way to do it, how to be the most successful. And when you're able to, kind of take that understanding and say, you're right. And instead of shitting on people that are trying to, bring the industry up to, instead of just being like, oh, pressure washing is what painters do when they're too drunk to paint. Right? Like, is that the industry you want to be in? Or do you want to be in the industry? It's like, oh yeah, a pressure washing business is very respectable. And, you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year with one truck if you do it right. So it's just a struggle, that people have, I think, understanding is, it's like, what's the saying, Justin, about winners focus on winning and losers focus on winners? That's what it is.
Another saying that I really like is don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Okay. So me and Mike are in like the fight of our life every single day. Okay. With companies that have venture capitalist budgets of like tens and tens and tens, almost hundreds of millions of dollars.
No,
With
hundreds of millions of dollars.
they have hundreds of millions of dollars at their disposal, right? For advertising, for hiring people. They have teams of 500 people that are working. Like these are the people that me and Mike are up against and competing against with regards to.
And legal teams that send me documentation all the time that tell me I can't say certain things.
Yes.
And do you know what I tell them?
Yeah.
Bloop, bloop.
That's right. Pete just says Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn says, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. So when you get yourself in a situation where it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much competition out here, there will be competition in anything that there is worthwhile. Anything that is worthwhile in your life that you're going to go for, there's going to be competition there. Do not wish it was easier, wish that you were better. That's why me and Mike, if we told you guys how many things we have tried for Quote IQ up until this point, it is a constant evolution, a constant building, and we have to make up for what we lack in monetary funds with regards to advertising and hiring and all these other pieces with ingenuity and creativity and insults. Right. So look, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Jack says, I run multiple $1 million businesses. Justin and Mike give great advice and are a wealth of knowledge. We really appreciate that, Jack. We really do. And then Rowdy Keo says, I'm not mad about it. I'm just trying to figure out how to be better. Just trying to stand out. Someone in my area keeps ripping down my signs. I'm about to do a sting operation. And so
Red tip, baby. Hey, so as far as signs go, again, it's just like everything else. It's a numbers game. It's repetition. And yes, there are going to be people that are going to take up your signs, right? Have I ever been guilty of taking up somebody's signs? Yeah, a long time ago. Maybe, I'm not confirming nor denying, but, there may have been a few signs that got run over. But long story short, it's going to happen. It's just, it's part of the game. So all you can do is outsign them, right? And break their will.
the other thing is if signs is one of your main sources of lead flow, then we have a problem. Okay. So Rowdy Keo, like me and Mike, if you really want to stand out, we do a one-on-one class where we walk you through all the most important things, give you homework, hold you accountable, and all that kind of stuff. So be sure to check that out. It's going to be linked to the comment section and the description. But the biggest thing is figure out how to be better than your competition. That's something me and Mike are always striving to do. What was funny, Mike? So
Jack,
stamp, signs, and dwarfs. Yep.
Oh, there's a list, brother.
Whoo, it doesn't stop there. Mike, you want to tell about the time about the delivery driver what did he drop off a new washer and dryer for you?
Oh, and I chased him down.
We don't have to talk about that right now. That was a dark time in Mike's life. So
were you on the phone with me?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was frightening. I'll be honest with you
There's
guys.
been a lot of times where Justin will be like, yeah, I don't want to be involved in this. I don't even want to.
Yeah, I don't like confrontation.
Like just yesterday, we were gonna. It was a decision that we'd come to that we were gonna have to let somebody go, and I was like, okay, well, do you want to call him with me? And he was like, no, I don't want to be on the phone. And I was like, okay.
So if you guys are ever picking business partners, okay, a good way to go is to know your strengths and to find someone that has different strengths than you, okay? Because then you're going to complement one another, right? Same thing for Mike. Mike will try to do outlandish things, and then I rein him in from time to time. And I'm like, dude, that's probably not a great idea. Like, let's hold back on that. So you need to find, and then same with me. I like to avoid confrontation. I don't like confrontation personally. Mike loves confrontation. So we balance each other out very well from that aspect. So if you're picking a partner, pick somebody that has, complementary strengths to yourself. Would you say something, Mike?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
Okay, so real quick, a couple guys, Rowdy, I think he said he was interested in the training. Thomas Nunn, how can I get some training from you guys? I'm in North Carolina trying to learn and get better. Will you put something in the comment? We've actually got a class, an 8-week training, one-on-one class that starts September 11th. And it's, if it's something that you're interested in, there will be a link. Fill out the paperwork to see if it's even in the realm of possibilities. We'll contact you and discuss, what's going on to see if, it makes sense. And so, and again, it's pretty freaking awesome. We've had multiple people that have just within the last group, multiple people that are already seeing the benefits, are landing big jobs, are getting way more than out of it than what they put in, as far as a monetary. Monetary.
And to be specific, we had the one guy that landed a $10,000 job. We got another guy that's going to do his first $20,000 month. We want to let you guys know, Thomas and Keo and anybody else that's watching that's interested in the one-on-one training. It's not cheap. It's accountability. It's us giving you the blueprint, the roadmap. It's us pulling the curtain back behind our businesses so you can see the things that we do on a day-to-day. Me and Mike try to provide as much value as possible on the internet, but there's things that we don't share on here because we just can't. Okay. And so basically this training is to give you guys the best information possible that we have. It's to give you homework. It's to give you actionable steps. It's not just like a course that you're going to take and watch it on your own time. It's showing up week in, week out, putting in the work. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to see the results that you really want. When you say so, Mike?
Yeah.
So it'll be linked in the comment section description. Like we said, it's not cheap. Okay. We got to make sure that that's known. But what is the opportunity cost? Mike, what was the biggest commercial job you landed this year?
I don't know. Like this year, I think it's only like 65, something like that, 65K.
If we could show you how to get in front of a $65,000 job, how to speak the right way, how to present yourself the right way, how to present the quote the right way, how to follow up the right way, and how to land it, what would that be worth to your business, right? And then you have that information, you can copy paste and go forward with it, right? So do you guys accept crypto?
Yeah, if you convert it to dollars.
Dollars. Mike likes to make fun of how Canadian people say dollars.
Dollar. It's $1.
It's $29. Anyway, you want to wrap there, Mike?
Yeah.
What's the word of the day?
Oh, look, Alex just got in and we're leaving.
Sorry, Alex. Alex looks, dude, Alex is ripped up. This is the same dude from the last time. We did doll hairs. That's a lot of doll hairs. What movie is that from, Mike? Do you know?
No.
Dude, and I pronounce you Chuck and Larry. And he goes,
Yeah, you've told me to watch it. You've told me to watch that for like 3 years in a row. I've never seen it.
Dude, he's missing out. Peaches, please tell him how much he's missing out not watching that movie. It's a loony and a toonie. There you go. Jordan's in the house.
Oh,
you guys are jumping in a little late. In their defense, though, we did run this live like really early. So
yeah, the beautiful thing is you can always catch the replay.
Yes. Oh, Peaches doesn't know what movie that is either. Wow, what a bummer. Has anybody in the chat seen I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry? An absolute classic if you haven't seen it. You guys are messing up. Mike is already telling us the secret and how to talk. Call people midgets. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, I will give a little bit away. Mike knows how to bully his way in a professional manner. So
no, it's all about confidence and
leading.
You know, yeah.
I'm getting How to Wash Tonight. Just got a pressure washing trailer. Absolutely check out How to Wash. If you guys want to check out all the courses, pwcourse.com. Now is a great time to look at Christmas lighting. If you guys, I'll pull it up right now. But if you guys are looking to get into like a winter service and Christmas lighting is like, you guys always talk about, oh, pressure washing is this, pressure washing is that with regards to saturation. Dude, like, how come you haven't thought about offering Christmas lighting? Like, Christmas lighting is, high ticket, lower saturation. Not a lot of people offer it. Like, the thing is they hear about pressure washing all the time. Like, I'm going to offer pressure washing. Let me share it real quick. Resource page. You guys can check out How to Wash here. We got the Local Domination 2 here if you want to get some good leads into your business. How to Stripe, another good little add-on for commercial properties. But we got our Christmas boot camp right here. So that way you can learn about all the things you know with regards to Christmas lighting. Christmas lighting is a good business to get into. So high ticket jobs.
Hey, and for anybody that's watching that would prefer to watch How to Wash in Spanish, we also have Como Lavar.
Como Lavar, la guía completa. Maybe we should try to do our next show in Spanish, Mike. Our next live stream.
Sí. Yo soy Miguel. ¿Y tú?
I'm trying to think of something. Damn, I'm blanking. How do you say?
Tu madre es.
¿Cómo se dice?
¿Cómo se dice?
El baño. Okay. I think it was originally Dumb and Dumber. Maybe it was for Dumb and Dumber. Lead with an insult and then an offer. They can't refuse. Absolutely. Just the tip. All right. Word of the day, Mike. What is it? It's
unctuous is really hard to spell. So maybe we will do pontificate, which is equally.
Pontificate. Pontification gets you bonus points. If you guys made this far in the video, comment down below. Pontificate. I'll hashtag your real. My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed. Until next time, hustle hard and get that money, baby. Peace.
Dan Rogers 2020.